Hallo Leute, willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge von Genshin Impact. Ich habe gerade soeben mein Handy umgeschmissen, ich bin Profi. Letztes Mal haben wir mit der Furina Quest weitergemacht, haben Polo, oder wie auch immer hieß, aufgefunden und aus seiner Hütte gezogen. Und das Skript ist jetzt fertig. Jetzt müssen wir noch den Mond aufsuchen, der sich hier befindet, denn den hat es am meisten getroffen mit dem Tod der Direktorin. Und ja, schauen wir uns mal um. Ah, hier müssen wir. Okay. Muss Sensibilität hoch, Hotel. Aber ja. Schauen wir mal, wo der dran ist. Oh.
As if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Yep.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour. Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
Vielleicht doch.
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Furina in a fight before.
Ich frage mich, ob sie Kampferfahrung hat und davon jetzt nicht macht, weil es schon lange her ist, weil halt weniger Erfahrung generell hat oder einfach gar nicht kämpft.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnitium.
Ja.
Miss Furina said so herself.
Precisely. And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway.
Ja.
As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a damsel in distress more than anything.
Ja, okay. Damsel in Distress als Schutzbefohlene übersetzt. Okay.
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
Ja, so ist das im Leben nun mal.
C'est la vie indeed. Alas, I am forced to watch on helplessly as a more brave and seasoned adventurer than I swoops in to save the day.
Ja, ja.
Aw, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes on fight mode Furina.
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting to you.
Keine Sorge.
Don't worry, piece of cake.
Yep. So, und kümmern wir uns von die kleinen Male das. Währenddessen wird auch schon das Schutzschild des Eisschleims relativ schnell runtergehen. Und damit Lady wird sowieso bei der Rest gemacht. So, und sie. Ah, das kommt noch mehr. Das kommt noch mehr, oh mein Gott. Also ich bin nicht so gut im Deutschen, aber so schlecht auch wieder nicht. Wohl. Im Satzbau habe ich manchmal meine Macken. Sag ich mal so. So. Dann. Was ist das?
Good show. You certainly live up to your reputation.
Ah, da oben ist er, okay. Geh weiter
Yeah, thank
dorthin,
you.
wo wir Mond ist.
Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Ist das Wilmonds Haus? Das sieht nicht gerade sehr groß aus.
Are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina doing here?
Hallo.
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now have everyone except you.
Dulfi klärt Wilmond über alles auf.
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone?
Ah, ja, stimmt. Wer war ja noch nicht sicher mit dem Ending?
I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show.
Oh, okay.
If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us.
Okay.
Viamant, avoiding the truth will not help anyone.
Was ist passiert?
Unless you mean to suggest that Auréli's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Viamant. I used to think that my love for Aurélie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the show. The Little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurélie on an emotional level.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough.
Deswegen.
We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire.
Also.
So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances.
Und das war Sinf. das Getränk, was ein bisschen mehr enthält.
It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I realized...
Dass es Sinn wurde, du hast es abgelehnt und dadurch hat er dann Aurélie getargetet und dann ist sie gestorben.
The drink in question was synth.
Isn't that the drink peddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
Ich erinnere mich, dass es eine euphorische Wirkung hatte.
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked as well.
Ja.
But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration.
Ja.
The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay.
Ja.
And then...
Kam er für die Bezahlung.
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe, and it wasn't my fault.
Okay.
But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything.
Dein Fehler gab ihnen ein Motiv, sie zu entführen, zu ermorden.
Yeah, I got Aurélie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
Deswegen am schwersten getroffen, weil er sich schuldig fühlt.
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! You knew Aurélie was in danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean? You were afraid? This was a life and death situation. We could have saved her! How could you be so stupid?
Oh Gott.
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Jetzt versteht man natürlich auch, warum er es nach der Show erst wollte sagen. Beziehungsweise während der Show da entfalten lassen wollte.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to stay calm.
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurélie murdered. She was the love of my life. And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show. How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that won't bring back the director.
Nee, leider nicht.
What good is my apology now? I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve. End my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Ach du Heiliger.
Get out of my sight! Go! Get lost! I don't ever want to see your face again!
That's enough! Can you
Oops.
stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
Ha, guter Punkt.
You're right.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe.
Yep.
But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell how much she loved you all, and how much she loved the troupe. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her. And that I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already? After everything she did for you?
Ja, eigentlich schon.
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. And then think again about what you hope to achieve by arguing with each other.
Ein guter Punkt, wirklich ein sehr guter Punkt von Furina.
If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured?
Ja.
But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director Aurélie and the home she built you all to let go.
Oh.
What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again.
Oh.
If she'd seen Paulo and Villemont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
Okay, was ein Zufall.
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle person.
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed. She really was a truly outstanding person.
What you said, it really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but I ended up making it all about me and my self-pity.
Huh.
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Ja, das schreckt mich jetzt auch.
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray.
Okay.
The end of the story needs to focus back on Aurélie herself. She's the true star of the show.
Vielleicht gibt's tatsächlich einen Weg, die Wahrheit zu finden.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims.
Mhm.
If you could find anything that Aurélie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
Das ist ganz gut möglich.
You really think that's possible?
Ja, das ist möglich.
I
Guter
trust
Punkt.
that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurélie's true feelings.
Nein, ich glaube, da wird keiner einen Einspruch legen.
No.
Liegen.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now and wait for our good news.
Okay. Hoffe ich mal, dass wir fündig werden hier im Palais Mermonia. Das sollte schon sehr seltsam sein für Furina da wieder einzutreten. Vielleicht tritt sie auch nicht ein, aber es würde mich wundern, mehr sein. Ich glaube, sie wird sich nicht weigern. So. Elementare Reaktionen. Die Anemo-Kraft kann Hydro, Pyro, Elektro und Kyrokraft wirbeln und eine so große Fläche beeinflussen. So. Hui. Hallo. Sirene habe ich gerade gelesen, oder Sirene, verdammt, jedes Mal.
Items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case, but that case has been closed for quite a while now.
Ja, aber wir brauchen es.
Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay, please hold on.
Okay.
I'll have someone dig them out.
Danke. Sirene schickt jemanden die Kiste mit den Hinterlassenschaften Aurélie zu holen.
This is all Aurélie left behind. Just whatever she was carrying on her person and this tattered old notebook.
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too! Looks like they show where the different props should be placed on stage.
Okay.
Let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped.
Vielleicht.
Aha! I found something. To whoever discovers this diary. It looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiments on dissolving young women.
Huh, okay.
If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vachey's guilt.
Huh.
Vachey took so many lives. It's still so unthinkable how many victims he had.
Ich glaube, es war über 20 oder so, glaube ich. Oder was war's?
I guess Aurélie must have
Nein, über
written all
20 Jahre hat
this
sich
down
das
in the
gezogen.
hope
Das
that
war
her
sehr.
records would one day be of use to investigators. Wait, it cuts off.
Was ist denn?
Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left.
Huh.
Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourselves.
Oh, oh. Das klingt schon depressiv. Jemand wurde, okay, warte. Jemand wurde wieder abgeführt. Das war die 6. oder vielleicht die 7. Gestern hat eine versucht zu fliehen, aber sie wurde zurückgebracht und danach nicht mehr gesehen. Vielleicht war das auch nicht gestern. Ich habe schon längst den Überblick über die Zeit und die Tage verloren. Tut mir leid, ich weiß auch nicht, ob es noch einen Sinn hat, so weiter zu schreiben und wie lange ich überhaupt noch schreiben kann. Ich kann mir mein bald bevorstehendes Schicksal bereits ausmalen. Was mir aber noch mehr Angst macht, ist, der anderen aus der Truppe hier zu sehen. Werde ich sie wirklich beschützen können? Es tut mir leid, es tut mir wirklich leid, ich kann nicht mehr weiterschreiben. Ich denke, ich habe Fieber, meine Magenprobleme sind ebenfalls wieder zurückgekehrt, aber niemand hat mir Medikamente gegeben. Gracie hat so große Schmerzen, dass sie die ganze Nacht nicht schlafen konnte. Im Vergleich zu ihr geht es mir noch gut. Der Wert von Versuchsobjekten, es juckt wohl keinen, wenn sie sterben, solange sie davor gut ausgenutzt sind. Hier ist sehr feucht, ich habe meine Decke mit ihr geteilt. Es ist so kalt, so wirklich so kalt. Müssen nur durchhalten, das wird alles vorbeigehen. Die Mühe wird sich am Ende auszahlen. Ich sage Ihnen gerne solche Dinge. Doch die Person, die nicht durchhalten kann, bin ich. Jemand sieht, die Truppe wohlbehalten. Ich sie am wichtigsten. Bitte Abschied, Entschuldigung, Leben, Aufführung, Zukunft. Bedauern. Clio. Die Seite ist überaus chaotisch. Der Stift ist wild über die Seite gefahren und es kostet groß Mühe, auch nur einen Teil der Schriftzeichen zu entziffern. Ab dieser Seite finden sich nur noch Aufzeichnungen oder Auszüge von Texten aus musikalischen Aufführungen. Es gibt keine tagebuchähnlichen Einträge mehr. Einige dieser Texte wurden aus Büchern oder Zeitungen ausgeschnitten, andere wiederum wurden handschriftlich verfasst. Sie weisen Änderungsspuren auf und es ist offensichtlich, dass viel in dem Buch geblättert wurde. Das lässt den Schluss zu, dass es sich hierbei um ein Notizbuch handelt, in dem Aurélie, die Leiterin der Truppe, ihre Inspiration festgehalten hat. Okay.
She was so terrified.
Zu sehen, wie Menschen aufgelöst werden. Und still auf den still auf den Tod zu warten. Oh mein Gott, mein Englisch auf einmal.
Been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop, but at the end of the day, she was only human.
Ja, so bist du.
I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must have been.
Das müsste grausam gewesen. Generell der ganze Aufenthalt da unten.
Wait. This part on the last page sounds strangely familiar.
Was denn? Wenn man weiter nach hinten blättert, finden sich auch weiterhin große Mengen an Texten aus musikalischen Aufführungen. Doch eine der Seiten wurde von Aurélie herausgerissen, gefaltet und dann auf die letzte leere Seite gesteckt. Ganz unten stehen 2 neue Sätze, die von ihr geschrieben wurden. Im Vergleich zu den Texten davor sind die Sätze klar, lesbar, jedoch wirkt die Handschrift so, als ob diese Sätze nur unter größter Mühe zustande gekommen sind. Und es liegt nahe, dass diese 2 Sätze sie sehr viel Zeit gekostet haben. Wenn du ein Mensch bist, kannst du niemandem dein Geheimnis verraten. Du wirst großes Leid und dauerhafte Einsamkeit erleben. Ist das wirklich das, was dein Herz begehrt? Weil ich ihre große Schwester bin. Ich liebe sie. Okay.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this still what you want?
Isn't that the most important line in the little Oceanid?
Doch, eigentlich schon.
Because I am an older sister to them.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troop would have hoped to hear as well.
Ja.
She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love. And she truly deserved it. Let's go. It's time for them to learn Director Aurélie's final thoughts.
Oh Gott, das wird jetzt depressiv. Dieses Leben wie ein leichtes Rinnsal des Gesanges heißt das nochmal. Okay, wo müssen wir hin? Dort, zum Probesaal, wie es scheint. Okay. Alter. Ich finde es aber krass, wie viel sie noch sozusagen die Conquest-Inhalte hier aufgreifen. Mit einerseits halt dem massenhaften Verschwinden der ganzen Frauen. Jungen Frauen, genau. Das war ja gezielt auch für junge Frauen im Alter von der Frau oder Freundin oder beziehungsweise des Partners von Vacher. Und ja. Sonst Rapide wird nicht viel erwähnt. Und ich glaube, es gibt ja noch, und dann halt noch die Referenz natürlich auf Achtung Quest 5 mit Furina, weil sie ja nicht mehr der Achtung ist. Nachdem all den Inhalt gelesen haben, fahren einige in Stille. Einige weinen bitterlich und einige knirschen mit den Zähnen und knurren. Es dauert lange, bis die Leute in Ruhe zusammenkommen und endlich eine Entscheidung treffen können.
She deserves a hero's farewell. If If that's the only way to convey to the audience the courage and selflessness that she showed in the face of death, then it's a meaningful way to end the story.
Even in the last moments of her life, she was still leaving a trail for others to follow.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible, even if it meant sacrificing herself.
Ja.
We know what choice our little Oceanid would have made now. I
Yep.
don't think any more discussion is necessary.
Nein, ich glaube auch nicht.
Well, Vilmont, if we put the past aside for now, do you think you can bring yourself to go ahead with the show?
Ich glaube schon.
I will channel all my regret and put it into my performance to make this a show worthy of our director. I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings. This final farewell show should be about director Aurélie.
Okay. Oh, verdammt.
Then it seems like we've reached a consensus. I have a feeling that this will turn out to be the most mesmerizing performance of your lives.
Oh, ja.
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen them perform before?
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching a countless number of musicals,
Ja, okay.
I've learned one important thing.
Die wäre?
If you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse yourself in your role, pouring all your emotion into your performance.
Also wäre man halt wirklich diese Rolle.
And aren't human emotions, love, hate, regret, and hope, just the most mesmerizing things in this world?
Ja, okay.
I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage than they are now.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Miss Furina. And thank you for supporting us through all this.
Then, let's not delay things any longer. We need to discuss the details of the ending and get it nailed down once and for all.
Okay.
Actually, before that, I'd like to make a proposal.
Der wäre?
During the curtain call, please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Okay.
Huh? But then...
Es ist ja auch ein Tribut zu ihr.
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. I'm just filling in for her. Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
Yep.
Well, if you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
Okay.
Now we're talking like a serious acting troupe. All right, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Okay.
Procure a stage?
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
Ich nehme an, sie wird wahrscheinlich das auch bei Epiclairs wahrscheinlich buchen.
That place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean the Opera Epiclairs.
Voilà.
Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that Aurélie's story is unworthy of the grandest stage in Fontaine.
Ja.
No, that's not what I meant.
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
Zeit für den Auftritt.
I have no problem with it then. How about the rest of you?
Ja, gut. Glaube ich mal. Ja, doch. Ich glaube, sie willigt hinein.
I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It really is a dream come true.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too.
Na, es wird schon funktionieren.
Come on. We'll need to get the go-ahead from Nervilette. I know just where to find him.
Okay. Ab zu Neuvillette. Der ist wahrscheinlich im Palais Monia. Yep, natürlich. Oh ne, das scheint außerhalb zu sein. Okay, das wundert mich. Was macht der außerhalb vom Palais Monia? Oder Palais Monia, wie auch immer. Okay, hier. Okay. Ah ja, da ist er. Hallo.
Hey, look at that. Looks like I guessed right.
Yep.
You were just guessing?
Du bist just guessing the whole time. Yep, scheint so.
I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Furina. And you too, traveler in Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
Also.
I would like to book the Opera Epiclairs for an event. You see...
Erzählt nur Wirt die Geschichte hinter dem Stück. Die kleine Okanid.
I understand. The process for booking the opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly difficult.
Okay, danke.
The story of the little Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing it performed on stage.
Kein Problem.
I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all that has happened.
Huh? What do you mean? Do I look excited?
Ich glaub schon.
Yes. And this is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
At first, I just felt bad about rejecting them. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation.
Und jetzt sind wir.
But one thing led to another, and... well, here we are. In the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all while knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom, but I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their lives.
Das merkt man auch ein bisschen, glaube ich.
I am truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life. Now that you've regained some confidence, have you had any thoughts regarding a return to the stage?
Gute Frage.
Why would you suddenly ask a question like that?
Well, if the Little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire.
Es würde zu einem Klassiker
The
werden.
experiences and decisions of the protagonist Cleo are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the leading role. It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. No, nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories, either on or off the stage. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've learned a lot, and it has already been well worth the price of admission. I must admit, though, I'm a little envious. They're quite fortunate to be able to bid farewell to their past in such a magnificent manner.
Weißt du auch,
I
ja.
see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy, be it on the stage or not. I sincerely hope the show will serve as the grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed.
Okay, danke.
Thanks, Nervalet.
You are very welcome.
Na dann. Geht zum Probeort und hilft bei der Probe. Okay. Aber ich glaube, das machen wir nächstes Mal, weil wir sind jetzt bei 21 Minuten. Und ich kann mir jetzt gut vorstellen, ab dem Probe-Dings geht es nur noch weiter bis zu der Performance selbst. Dann einfach so. Ja, deswegen ich würde sagen, hier werden wir die Folge. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal, wo wir wahrscheinlich dann dem alle hier ein Ende setzen und die letzte Aufführung sehen von der ganzen Truppe. Aber ja, danke fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!